The BYD Dolphin, currently the most affordable EV in town right now with all the bells and whistles, and it starts from 100,000 ringgit. But should you spend 25,000 ringgit more to get the extended range model? Well, join me for a test drive with the new BYD Dolphin Premium extended range model. This is Alex from soychicha.com. Let's check it out. This is the high-spec version of the BYD Dolphin here in Malaysia. So in this premium extended range model, everything looks pretty much the same, but the biggest glaring difference is that you get a glass roof, which also comes with electronically controlled sunshade, which is something you don't get on the Tesla Model Y. And in the center here, you also get wireless charger, which is handy for your phone, and you also get electric powered seats, which can control electronically, but there's no memory seat function. And you also get ventilated seats as well, which is pretty cool doing long drives, especially going long distance. And BYD use a lot of textures to make their plastics feel a bit more upmarket. Like for example, you get hard plastic up here, but it has this nice texture, and in the middle here you get some soft touch. And down here you have like something like a kind of like textile kind of material. Yeah, textile kind of texture, but it's obviously plastic. But it looks pretty good, and I think it's a brilliant way of making this look more upmarket. Besides the extra features, you also get a much more powerful motor inside this Dolphin Premium extended range version. It gets 150 kilowatts of power, 310 Newton meters of torque, and it can get from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 7 seconds. And it also gets a larger battery, 60.5 kilowatt hour, which can give you a rated range of up to 427 kilometers on a single charge. So essentially, this Dolphin gets the same motor and battery as the bigger Atto 3 extended range version. And of course, BYD doesn't want to scare first-time EV users, so if you want to get that instant torque, there's a slight delay, probably about 1 second before you can really get that surge. But of course, it's not as crazy torquey as what you get from a Kona electric. I guess this is how BYD wants to ease the target audience by making it as close as possible to an ICE car so that not to scare potential owners. Before this, I've driven the standard range model that comes with the torsion beam setup, and that feels rather soft and doesn't give that much confidence if you want to drive it fast around the corners. But I guess it's okay for daily drives, you know, just to commute to work and maybe to send the kids to school. And on this version, on normal drive, it feels slightly stiffer. I think that's partly because of the larger battery. This is 60.5 versus 44.5 on the standard range version. And overall, it's quite quiet, it's quite pleasant for its size, and I get great visibility out here. You have this like a quarter glass on the front for both left and right, so you get good visibility around the corners, similar to what you get on the Honda Jazz. So I think that's a good thing. So this is really perfect for city driving. And I also like the fact that the window line is actually quite low, not too high, enough for you to rest your hand here, and you get good visibility all around. And of course, with this glass roof, it really feels more spacious in here. It feels extra special. And with this motor with 200 horsepower, you just step on the throttle, you get that instant acceleration. Definitely more powerful, more fun to drive compared to the standard version, which has a much weaker motor, 94 horsepower. That's roughly similar to what you get on a 1.3 litre natural aspirated car. But this one is 200 horsepower. This is the same motor you get on the Hyundai Kona and also the Atto 3 extended range model in a much smaller car. Imagine that. And of course, you can adjust the weight of the steering. There's a normal, there's sport. You also can adjust the throttle response down here. You can adjust the mode. There's sport, there's eco, there's normal. On normal mode, you don't really get wheel spin, so it's quite linear, almost as close as what you get on a normal petrol car. Similar to the Atto 3, you can change the sound of the car. For example, the pedestrian warning sound when the car is driving below 30 km per hour, as well as the sound for the signal indicators. This Dolphin emits a lot of weird sounds. So this is the default brand sound, which sounds like an ice cream truck. And there's also a standard sound, dynamic and standard. And that also affects the sound of the signal indicators. Okay, this sounds like normal, dynamic, normal, brand. It just sounds weird. BYD also has a pretty good audio command system. Hi BYD, open driver window. Look at that. And BYD doesn't compromise when it comes to advanced driver assist systems. You get everything you ever need, like for example, adaptive cruise control. They support stop and go traffic. It also has lane keeping assist. There's also rear cross traffic alert with rear cross traffic braking. And you also have 6 airbags as standard across both models, and that's pretty good, class leading. So now we are on the bumpy stretch of Dash Highway. I mean, this car I would say is slightly heavier than the standard range model, so going through corners at higher speeds like 1900, it still feels pretty okay, but when it comes to the uneven stretch, it really feels bumpy. It really dampens the rough surfaces, but yeah, you can feel the wave. I guess that's why they call it Dolphin. Yes, ride the new wave. It's bumpy on this Dash Highway. It's soft, but it still inspires confidence to go pretty spirited on the curves. Okay. I'm not sure whether you can hear it. That's the sound of the pedestrian warning system. So there's like a slight hum that you can hear even inside the car. If you select the brand mode, the car sounds like a ice cream truck, which is pretty weird. As for interior design, I think that the BYD has nailed it in terms of the dashboard design. It's not as over the top like the one you find on the Atto 3. You get a normal looking dash. You have normal aircon vest, which is circular type that's mounted on top, which can throw cold air to the back. And this car doesn't have aircon at the rear, but I think that's fine. And in terms of the door design, I think it's pretty good. They play around with textures so that it feels more upmarket. You have a normal, not really normal, but more conventional door handle. It looks like a fin of a dolphin. And I like the fact that the power window buttons and switches, they're located more level. So it's more easier to see. You won't mistakenly press the wrong power window like the Atto 3, because the Atto 3's power window buttons are slanted downwards. And there's loads of cubby space in this car. When you get in this car, immediately you know where to put your touch and go card, your keys, your phones, everything, because right below the center screen you get like a floating tray which can put your touch and go card or smart tag, and right below it is quite a deep cubby hole, and there's also 2 USB ports, one USB-A, one USB-C, and a micro SD card, which I think is to record the video from the 360 camera. And you also have 2 cup holders, a wireless charging pad on the premium extended range model. There's no center armrest storage, but you get a load of storage underneath here, since this is a dedicated EV platform. And the ADAS systems work pretty well. It's so easy to switch on from the buttons on the steering wheel. I just press this button over here on the right side, and I can adjust the desired speed. Like I can put it to, let's say 90 or 100. Let's see how high can this go. Okay, it can go up to 150. Yeah, you can set adaptive cruise control up to 150 kilometers per hour. And there's lane centering assist as well. So if I let go of the steering for a while, it actually can help to steer to some degree. Of course, don't do that. This is level 2, not level 3. You should always put your hands on the wheel at all times. But this is very useful in case you get distracted. But the thing about this car is that it has a very small instrument cluster up front. It's about 5 inches. That's smaller than what you get on most modern smartphones these days. And another issue with this screen is that a lot of ADAS features, they are represented by icons and so hard to see. For example, you want to turn on the adaptive cruise control and you want to set the desired speed. It uses a very tiny text and it's in green in color. Green color over blue background. I mean, it's so hard to read. And sometimes the warning can be very blaring and then you just don't know what's going on. Like there's actually a speed limit alert with a tiny little icon to show that, okay, this is a speed limit. And especially during noontime and it's very glaring, it's hard to see the screen as well. So they could have made the fonts, I guess, and the color combination better so that's more visible outdoors. But other than that, the 3.8-inch screen in the middle is fantastic. It's huge, 3.8 inch. It gets pretty bright. The menu systems are laid out properly. This definitely looks very familiar to you if you're using an Android tablet. It runs on Android. At the moment, it supports wired Apple CarPlay via the USB-A port. There's no Android Auto yet, but we're told it's coming soon through a software update. Not sure when it's coming, but I'm pretty sure they're going to push it out soon. And you can also rotate it landscape or portrait mode with a push of the button. In terms of space, I mean, this is huge for this price point because it has a wheelbase of 2,700 millimeters. That's only 2 centimeters shorter than the Atto 3. In fact, this wheelbase is actually longer than what you get on the Proton X70. And in terms of overall dimensions, this is actually a bigger car than the Toyota Yaris. And sitting at the back, this car provides loads of legroom, decent amount of headroom, but I just wish that there's a little bit of under-thigh support since I'm a taller person. My legs are quite long, but I think most people will feel very comfortable at the front and the back. In terms of boot space, the Dolphin gets 345 liters at the back, which is smaller than the WRV, which has about 380 liters, but this boot is definitely bigger than what you get on the Honda City hatchback or even the Myvi, which has about less than 300 liters. If you want more storage, there's also more space underneath the false floor, and you can also fold the seats down because this has a 40-60 rear split seats, which can give you more than 1,000 liters of space in total. Well, in terms of design, some say that the front looks a bit boring. I tend to agree with that. It looks pretty meh. But I mean, there's some nice touches. He has LED strips on the center grille as well as the front headlamps. But the rear though, that looks pretty cool. It has this like a weave design for the red LEDs at the back. I think that looks pretty cool. For those who don't really like the huge Build Your Dreams nameplate at the back, well, unfortunately you can't remove it on this car because that name, Build Your Dream, is underneath the plastic housing. But it looks pretty cool. It looks like what you get on the new batch of Porsches. The adaptive cruise control with stop and go traffic is so much helpful in this situation. So we're stuck in LTP right now, and the jam is about 6:20 p.m. right now. As you can see, there's loads of cars, and this car can help me maintain the safe distance with the car in front of me. I just set the speed, I have lane centering assist, and it does most of the things for me, and I don't need to put my foot on the accelerator or the brake pedal. It just drives itself, it just creeps accordingly. This is pretty good in this kind of situation, so you have a less stressful ride home. But I must say that the ADAS comes in pretty strong. The braking is pretty strong. And in terms of power efficiency, the Dolphin is pretty efficient, and you know, we really put this car to its paces, really testing out the 200 horsepower, and we got 16.6 kilowatt hour per 100 km. That including like a half an hour stop with the engine, with the motor running, and that's pretty efficient. And of course, you gotta expect that because this is a smaller car, lighter car, and a single front motor. And I believe that if you really drive this more sensibly, you should have no problem getting close to the rated mileage. So conclusion, I would say that the BYD Dolphin ticks all the right boxes. You get loads of space, you get a sizable boot. Performance is more than enough for the standard model. If you want more performance, you can always go for the premium extended range model that gives you 200 horsepower and that crazy acceleration to 100 km per hour in just 7 seconds. In terms of packaging, I think it's great. Safety features, no complaints. ADAS is pretty good. Adaptive cruise control, damn good. The only thing is that the suspension, the ride, is a bit too soft. I would prefer something more stiffer, but I guess maybe BYD is targeting folks who want a more comfortable ride to ferry your family around. I think that this fits the bill pretty nicely. If you just drive sensibly around town, not going crazy on a highway, this is more than enough. I mean, what else can you get for 100,000 ringgit this price point? This really goes head to head with other petrol cars like the Honda WRV, City hatchback, Toyota Yaris, or even the Proton X50. If you are considering to get a new EV, this is a proper car to start with. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the BYD Dolphin. So there you have it. This is a quick first drive impression of the BYD Dolphin Premium extended range model. What do you think? Should you spend 25,000 ringgit more to get this model with more power and more range, or should you save that 25,000 ringgit and get the standard version that costs 100,000 ringgit on the road without insurance? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like us on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe us on our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell icon so that you'll be informed of our future videos. This is Alex. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!